Have you ever been in a situation so embarrassing that you almost wanted to disappear from the face of the earth? Well, I have. And the worst part, it was at the gym, with people watching, shouting going on, and security involved. But what started out as the biggest embarrassment of my life turned into something that I still can't believe. Trust me, you need to hear this until the end, because what happened next will blow your mind. But before I tell you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Let me take you back to when this all began. Picture this. It's nearly 10 o'clock at night, and I'm at my local gym. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who works out that late? Well, let me explain my crazy schedule. I work a demanding job that keeps me busy from noon until 8 in the evening, and my mornings are packed with classes. The only time I could squeeze in my workouts was right before the gym closed at 11. By that time of night, the place was practically empty. It was just me and maybe 4 or 5 other dedicated fitness enthusiasts who, like me, had no other choice but to exercise during those final hours. The atmosphere was completely different from the busy daytime rush. Quieter, more focused, almost intimate in a way. And that's where I first noticed him. This incredibly handsome guy who seemed to have the same impossible schedule as me. Week after week, we'd end up working out at the same time, and I couldn't help but notice him in the mirror reflections. He was absolutely gorgeous, the kind of person who makes you lose your concentration mid-rep. And here's the thing that really caught my attention. He was looking back. It started with these subtle glances across the gym floor. I'd catch him watching me through the mirrors while I was doing my exercises, and when our eyes would meet, we'd both quickly look away like teenagers with crushes. This went on for weeks. This silent dance of stolen glances and nervous smiles. The tension was building every single night, but neither of us had the courage to make the first move. I have to admit, I was completely smitten. This guy had this magnetic presence that made my heart race faster than any cardio session ever could. But he seemed shy, almost painfully so. I could tell he was interested. The way he positioned himself where he could see me, how he'd time his water breaks to coincide with mine, the way he'd blush if I caught him staring. But he never approached me, never said a word. The anticipation was killing me. Every night I'd go to the gym hoping this would be the night he'd finally say something, anything. I found myself putting extra effort into my appearance, choosing my workout clothes more carefully, making sure my hair looked good even though I was about to sweat through an intense training session. Then finally, after what felt like an eternity of this silent courtship, he gathered the courage to approach me. I was finishing up my shoulder routine when he walked over, looking nervous but determined. His first words were simple, but they sent butterflies through my stomach. We ended up talking for the rest of our workout session, and it felt so natural, so right. We exchanged phone numbers that night, and suddenly my whole routine changed. We'd text throughout the day, building anticipation for our evening workouts together. Our conversations flowed easily through messages, but in person, I could still see that adorable shyness that made him even more attractive. He'd get flustered when certain topics came up, stumble over his words when he got nervous, and turn red when I complimented him. I found myself taking the lead in many of our interactions because I could see he wanted to, but was holding back. There was this beautiful vulnerability about him that made me want to make him comfortable, to show him he didn't need to be nervous around me. Weeks passed like this, texting, talking, working out together, the chemistry building with every interaction. I kept waiting for him to ask me out properly, but he seemed content with our gym friendship. Don't get me wrong, I was enjoying every moment we spent together, but I was also getting impatient. I wanted more, and I could tell he did too. But someone needed to make the next move. I decided I wasn't going to be the one to ask him out. Call it old-fashioned, but I wanted him to find his confidence and take that step. Still, as the days went by, the attraction between us was becoming impossible to ignore. Every casual touch during our workouts, every shared laugh, every meaningful look was adding fuel to a fire that was getting harder to control. Then came the night that changed everything. He suggested we do a full workout together, really training as partners. I agreed immediately, excited about the prospect of spending more focused time with him. What I didn't anticipate was how intimate partner training could feel. When you're working out with someone, especially someone you're attracted to, there's a lot of physical contact involved. Spotting each other during lifts, adjusting form, providing support and motivation, it all requires being close, touching, being in each other's personal space. The sexual tension that had been building for weeks suddenly had a physical component that was impossible to ignore. I remember he was helping me with my squats, standing behind me to provide support and guidance. The position was inherently intimate, and I could feel the heat radiating from his body. That's when I realized he was as affected by our closeness as I was. The attraction was mutual and overwhelming. Then he did something that surprised me completely. He leaned close to my ear and whispered an invitation that was bold, spontaneous, and completely out of character for the shy guy I'd gotten to know. He asked me to join him in the bathroom. Now, I know how that sounds. I know it wasn't the most romantic proposition in the world, but in that moment, with weeks of built-up tension and desire, with the electricity between us practically crackling in the air, I didn't care about propriety or the location. I wanted him and he wanted me, and that was all that mattered. The timing seemed perfect. The gym was nearly empty, just a handful of people scattered around the equipment. The bathroom area was tucked away in a corner where the staff rarely ventured, especially this close to closing time. We slipped away unnoticed, or so we thought. We chose the men's bathroom since it was less likely to have any unexpected visitors at that hour. The last stall provided privacy, and for a few blissful minutes we were lost in each other, finally expressing the attraction that had been building for so long. But then disaster struck. I heard the unmistakable sound of someone pounding on the stall door and a woman's voice shouting accusations and insults. My blood ran cold. Somehow, someone had discovered what we were doing, and they were not happy about it. The woman outside was furious, calling us disgusting names and demanding we come out immediately. I was mortified beyond words. Here I was, trapped in a bathroom stall with a guy I'd been seeing for weeks, caught in the most compromising situation possible. My face burned with embarrassment, and I could see he was just as horrified as I was, his face turning every shade of red imaginable. The pounding continued, along with more shouting and name-calling. We quickly got dressed, trying to figure out how to handle this nightmare scenario. There was no dignified way out of this situation. We were going to have to face whatever was waiting for us outside that stall door. When we finally opened the door, it was worse than I had imagined. Not only was the angry woman there, but she had recruited 3 other people to witness our walk of shame. 4 pairs of judgmental eyes stared at us as we emerged, disheveled and humiliated. But the horror didn't end there. As we walked out of the bathroom and back into the main gym area, I realized that word had spread quickly among the remaining gym members. Everyone was staring at us, whispering among themselves, making it clear that our private moment had become very public knowledge. I had never felt so embarrassed in my entire life. The walk from the bathroom to our belongings felt like a mile-long journey through a gauntlet of judgment and shame. Every eye in the place was on us. Every whisper felt like it was about our scandal. I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me whole. We grabbed our things as quickly as possible and practically ran out of the gym. He offered to drive me home, and during that car ride, we were both still in shock. Neither of us could believe what had just happened. We'd gone from a romantic moment to public humiliation in a matter of minutes. The aftermath was just as difficult to deal with as the incident itself. I couldn't bring myself to return to the gym at my usual time. The thought of facing those same people, seeing those judgmental looks again, was unbearable. I switched my entire schedule around, starting to work out at 5:30 in the morning instead of late at night. To my surprise and delight, he switched his schedule too, joining me for those early morning sessions. It was a gesture that meant everything to me, showing that he wasn't going to let one embarrassing moment destroy what we had been building together. Something amazing happened after that incident. Instead of driving us apart, the shared embarrassment actually brought us closer together. We had been through something intense together, faced judgment together, and survived it as a team. It broke down the last barriers between us. Our relationship deepened quickly after that. We started spending time together outside the gym, going on real dates, having long conversations about everything and anything. The shy, nervous guy I'd fallen for revealed layers of personality and depth that made me fall even harder. Within a few months, we were officially a couple. The connection that had started with stolen glances in gym mirrors had evolved into something real and substantial. We supported each other through workouts and through life, building a partnership that went far beyond physical attraction. Here's the part that will surprise you the most. 3 years later, we're still together. Not only are we still dating, but we've moved in together. Completely changed our lives to accommodate this relationship that started in the most unconventional way possible. We eventually switched gyms entirely when we moved to a new neighborhood together. Sometimes we laugh about that mortifying night, about how what felt like the worst moment of our lives actually led to the best relationship either of us has ever had. Looking back, I realized that embarrassing incident was exactly what we needed. It forced us to be vulnerable with each other, to face adversity together, and to decide whether what we had was worth fighting for. The answer, clearly, was yes. So here's what I want you to know. This story isn't just something I made up for entertainment. This is a real experience shared by one of my followers from another platform. They trusted me with their story, and I wanted to share it with all of you because it shows how love can bloom in the most unexpected circumstances, how our most embarrassing moments can sometimes lead to our greatest joys. If you enjoyed this story, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Stories like this remind us that real life is often stranger and more beautiful than fiction. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this incredible journey from gym crushes to lasting love. Thank you for listening. And remember, sometimes the most unexpected beginnings lead to the most beautiful endings.